In this video, I'm going to compare a couple of cameras. I'm going to put the Canon 5D Mark III on this side, and the Lumix GH3 in the middle, and the Canon S95 on this side, which is a compact camera. I've recorded the 5D Mark III and the Lumix GH3 in 1080p 30 frames per second. So you should really watch this video in 1080p. So if it's not set that right now, go down right here and click on the settings and do 1080p and rewind to the beginning and let it buffer so that you can watch it in HD. You will notice that the S95 is scaled up to 1080p, so you will notice that the resolution is not as good, but it gives a good comparison of what the digital SLR versus a point and shoot can do for video. You'll notice in this video that the sky of the Lumix GH3 looks a little bit bluer. That's because I left a haze filter on there accidentally, and so the haze might be a little bit removed. However, in the 5D3 you can see in the houses in the background that there's more detail in there. I believe I've set the color settings incorrectly in the 5D3 and gives it a slightly more washed out look. Here you can see the sky has a little bit more blue color to it. So again, maybe my white balance is a little off, but you can see that the center in this case is a bit more clear than the other two. We don't even need to talk about S95 because it is a 720p camera, and it's just there for comparison. Here you see the Canon 5D3, the house in the far distance looks a little bit more defined than the GH3. Here I've set the f-stop to 10 in all of the cases, and the lighting is a little bit dimmer than the previous two cases, and so that might be why there's an advantage here in the Canon 5D3. Here I've switched to a slightly darker scene where you may notice a little bit more detail in the Canon 5D3. The GH3 somehow looks a bit more purplish. I may have set the white balance incorrectly, or basically I didn't do any white balance settings. On this side is the Canon S95. It doesn't have any kind of manual exposure control, and so it just does it automatically. In the middle we have the Lumix GH3 camera with the 12 to 35mm f2.8 Lumix lens. I've set it up to f2.8 ISO 800 and the shutter speed of 30. On this side we have the 5D Mark III with the 24 to 70mm f2.8 USM2 lens. As you're listening to me, you may notice that there's quite a bit of background hiss in the camera. I'm using the camera's built-in mic right now. So there's a noticeable increase in noise in the audio. So I would recommend using an external mic for this camera. So over here I have the S95 again. I cannot set any of the ISO settings. I know it's a compact camera and it doesn't have a very big sensor, so the low light is going to suffer here. It is also a 720p maximum movie recording rate, and so you'll see that the resolution is not that great either. But this is good to compare what the difference is between the cameras. So the Lumix GH3 is set at an ISO of 6400 as well. The f-stop is 2.8 again, and the shutter speed is 1/30. So on this side, I have set the ISO to 6400 in this 5D Mark III, and the f-stop is at 2.8 and a shutter speed of 1/30. I've only left one light on, and it's equivalent to about 40 watt incandescent. And you can see that the noise in this video is a lot less than the other two. So this presents a very challenging low light situation. Most of the time you probably won't record in such dim lighting. However, it's good to put it in the extremes to see how much noise appears when the ISO setting, the 5D3, is set to the same as the one in the GH3. If you're in the market for getting a Canon 5D Mark III in comparison to a GH3, I hope this video helps you. And don't forget to like this video if it helped, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.